Okay, let's unpack this. There's this powerful narrative we've all been sold.
A really deeply entrenched one.
Yeah, that as you get older, waking up just has to involve pain.
Right, a heavy heart. Or that mental fog you just can't shake.
We're basically taught that breaking down is the price you pay for a long life.
It's the standard script, and it traps people. They become passive observers of their own decline.
But our deep dive today, it centers on someone who just completely rejected that script.
We're looking at a 94-year-old. And get this. Lives completely alone, has this huge garden they manage,
Cooked every meal from scratch.
takes zero maintenance medication. And the part that really blows my mind is that his doctors, they're just baffled. His internal markers look like someone who's, 45?
And here's the kicker, the crucial context. This wasn't some kind of genetic lottery win.
Oh, not at all.
The family history was, the source material calls it a roadmap to an early grave.
That's intense.
His father died at 62. His mother didn't even reach 60. And all of his siblings were gone by their early 60s.
Wow.
So you can imagine when he hit 74 and he's feeling that chronic inflammation, that deep exhaustion, he probably thought, well, this is it, the family curse.
And that's the turning point, right there. At 74, he realized he'd bought into the story that he was breaking down because he was old.
When the reality was,
The reality was he'd just forgotten how to, properly wake up his body's fundamental systems each morning.
So our mission today is to analyze his solution. 5 specific, non-negotiable morning habits.
And they're so elegant. They cost nothing. You don't need any fancy tech. And they're all about reversing the deficits we create for ourselves every single night.
It's all about reclaiming the autonomy that should be yours. So let's jump right in.
Yeah.
Habit number 1, which the source calls addressing the critical deficit.
The critical deficit is dehydration. And think about it for a second.
Okay.
Overnight, you're breathing. There's invisible evaporation from your skin. You don't even notice it.
And your body's in repair mode.
Exactly. And during that time, you lose close to a full liter of water. You wake up biologically parched. Every single system is already starting from behind.
And what's the first thing most people do? What did he used to do?
They reach for the coffee.
Immediately.
And that is, without a doubt, the most dangerous habit he had to break. Coffee is a diuretic.
Meaning it makes you pee more.
It signals your kidneys to expel fluid, so it literally speeds up the dehydration your brain and your joints are already suffering from.
And that has real consequences.
Oh, huge. It messes with your memory. It dramatically spikes cortisol, the stress hormone, because your body basically thinks it's in a crisis.
And inflammation goes up.
Systemic inflammatory markers shoot up.
The research on this is startling. I was looking at some from Johns Hopkins. And it says, for people over 65, even just mild dehydration can slash your cognitive function by more than 25%.
25%? That's massive. So if you're struggling with that morning brain fog, the answer might not be more caffeine.
It might be the opposite.
And we're not just talking about having a dry mouth. Water is the main electrical conductor for your entire nervous system.
So if you're low on fluid.
Your brain-body communication is it's slow, it's fuzzy. And this directly plays into things like that dizzy feeling you get when you stand up too fast.
Right. Orthostatic hypotension.
Exactly. And the personal story from him on this is so compelling.
Tell me.
He had that morning vertigo for years, that dizziness, the balance issues, the stuff you just assume is part of getting older.
Mm-hmm.
He says it completely vanished within weeks, just from starting his day at age 75 with a big glass of room temperature water.
That's incredible.
It stabilized his blood pressure. It gave him the confidence to just walk across a room without thinking about it. You're literally stopping yourselves from aging faster because you're not forcing them into a high-stress, low-fluid state to start the day.
Okay, so once you fix the fluid problem, you're hydrated. We get to habit 2. They call this one the master key.
Morning light exposure.
And for years, like a lot of us, he was afraid of the sun. He'd stay inside, or if he went out, it was sunscreen on immediately.
And that fear, it led to this deep, profound fatigue and really low vitamin D levels.
Which we all know is important for bones.
It is, but it's so much more. Vitamin D is really a hormone. It regulates hundreds of genetic processes, including muscle strength and how your body manages inflammation. When you're low on it, the world literally feels heavier.
But hold on, if vitamin D is the problem, why can't you just, pop a supplement? Why is this sun ritual so important?
That is the critical question because it's not really about the vitamin, it's about timekeeping.
I'm keeping.
The ritual is very specific, 15 to 20 minutes outside with arms or legs exposed. But the key is the timing, between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m.
Why that window?
It has almost nothing to do with making vitamin D and everything to do with your circadian rhythm. You're talking about the science of light hitting the eye.
Okay, so it's not about the skin.
It's about the eyes. That early morning light hits these special receptors in your eye. They have a protein called melanopsin,
And that sends a signal.
a direct signal to your brain's master clock, the SEN, or suprachiasmatic nucleus. That one signal slams the brakes on melatonin production, the sleep hormone, and it sets your 24-hour body clock for the entire day.
So by getting that light early, you're actually guaranteeing you'll sleep better later.
Precisely. If that clock isn't set properly, your whole hormonal system is delayed. You produce melatonin later, you struggle to get into that deep restorative sleep.
And that's what accelerates cognitive decline.
Absolutely. For him, stabilizing that rhythm, it transformed his mood, it cut his chronic pain way down, and it brought back an energy he thought was gone for good. It's a huge tool for preserving your mind.
That makes so much sense. The energy he has now is a direct result of a working sleep cycle,
Yep.
which flows perfectly into habit 3, fueling for autonomy, which means high-quality protein at breakfast.
And this is a huge failure point for so many people, especially after 65. The breakfast we ate in our 30s, black coffee and a pastry, or maybe just some toast.
That routine actively makes you more frail in older age. He realized he was just spiking his blood glucose, then crashing hard by 10 a.m.
Leaving him weak, foggy.
And the problem isn't just the crash, it's the physical damage. That kind of breakfast makes your muscles wither.
You have to understand something called anabolic resistance. As we get older, our muscles just become less responsive to the signals that tell them to repair or build.
They get a little deaf to the message.
Good way to put it. Which means older bodies need significantly more protein in a concentrated dose just to hold on to the muscle they already have.
So swapping your cereal for, say, a couple of scrambled eggs or a big bowl of Greek yogurt, that's not just a small change.
It's a metabolic intervention. It's non-negotiable for staying independent. The clinical data is clear. Seniors who get a big hit of protein early in the day have way less muscle loss sarcopenia and much better physical performance.
And it's not just about physical strength. You mentioned the mental connection, too.
Oh yeah, protein gives you the raw materials for neurotransmitters like dopamine.
Which is for focus, drive.
Exactly.
Huh.
Focus, motivation, a stable mood. If your fuel is sugar, you're fueling chaos. If it's protein, you're fueling focus. He stopped feeding the decline and started fueling the recovery that lets him get on his hands and knees and garden at 94.
Okay, so that's the fuel. But how do you get the engine started without straining it? That brings us to habit 4, what he calls kindness to the frame.
Or just mindful stretching. This is all about that experience of waking up stiff and sore. The mistake is we treat our bodies like an old car engine and just expect it to roar to life. But that morning stiffness isn't just a sign of age.
What is it then?
It's a signal. Your nervous system is still dormant, and the synovial fluid, the lubricant in your joints, is thick and stagnant.
And his ritual isn't some crazy workout.
No, not at all. It's gentle. It's deliberate. 10 minutes. That's it. Slow neck rotations, rolling the shoulders, stretching the hips. He says he treats his body like a precious heirloom. No sudden moves.
What's that doing on a biological level?
It's gently waking up your proprioception.
Your body's sense of where it is in space.
Exactly. Your internal GPS. And that sense, that awareness, is your #1 defense against falls as you get older. Better balance, more flexibility. They aren't just nice to have, they protect you from catastrophic injury.
It's literally the difference between needing to lean on furniture to get to the kitchen and just walking there.
He went from being tentative at 74 to confidently climbing stairs and, like we said, gardening at 94, all from that consistent, gentle activation every single morning.
It's proof that mindful movement is basically the definition of life.
It rewards you with a lightness you thought was gone forever.
Okay, that sets the stage perfectly for the final habit. We've hydrated, set the clock, fueled the system, and lubricated the frame. Habit 5 is about the mind, tuning the instrument.
This is a big one.
The normal way most of us wake up is just a torrent of worry, right?
Oh, yeah.
Obligations, anxieties, the news.
Which is incredibly aging. That morning stress rush floods you with cortisol, and it directly cancels out a lot of the good you just did with the first 4 habits.
So this final habit is an act of psychological control.
A profound one.
And the practice, it comes from ancient wisdom, but it's now being validated by modern neuroscience. It involves 7 minutes of internal alignment, and he uses headphones with specific sound frequencies.
Okay, and this is the part that might sound a little woo-woo for some people.
I was just thinking that. How does science actually back up listening to, specific sounds?
That's a fair question. It all comes down to brainwave states. The goal is to gently guide your brain out of that high alert beta state of stress and down into the theta state.
And theta is?
Theta waves are what you see on an EEG when you're on the edge of sleep, or in a very deep meditation. It's a state of heightened receptivity.
So the sounds are like a gentle push, guiding the brain into that more reflective place.
Exactly. When your brain is in theta, it's highly suggestible, in a good way. It's open to reprogramming. It's where your intuition is loudest. And he uses this time to focus on 3 very specific intentions.
What are they?
First, how do I want to feel today? Second, what do I want to attract into my day? And third, what do I need to let go of?
That is a powerful filter to put on your day before the world gets its hands on you.
And the physical results are measurable. Spending even a few minutes in theta has been shown to lower inflammation markers, stabilize blood pressure, and improve long-term memory formation. You're giving your brain a sacred space to organize itself before the chaos.
Which is why he has the mental clarity of someone half his age.
Yeah.
He's not starting from a place of reaction.
He's starting from conscious choice.
So when you put it all together, the water, the light, protein, movement, the mental tuning, what does that mean for the big picture? For autonomy, for destiny?
I think it's the ultimate expression of dignity. For this 94-year-old, living alone isn't a burden. Cooking his own food, tending his garden, these aren't chores.
They're anchors.
They are anchors that signal control to the brain. Every single act of self-reliance fights off that feeling of helplessness. And crucially, it fights off loneliness. He makes a distinction between being alone and being lonely.
And autonomy is the firewall.
It's the firewall between the two.
The most inspiring part of this whole thing for me is how it circles back to that genetic conflict we started with. He lived under that heavy cloud, convinced his body was pre-programmed to fail.
He realized that fear was the real enemy. He finally embraced that powerful idea that while genes may load the gun, your lifestyle and your habits pull the trigger.
And he started this whole rewrite at 74, when he was already feeling the same pains that had taken his family members 30 years earlier.
And he didn't just survive them, he thrived. He outlived them by decades. It's the ultimate proof that it's never too late.
Absolutely. Transformation isn't this one-time high-pressure event.
No, it's a slow, gradual process. It's adding one small brick to the wall every day, starting with the easiest one you can manage.
So the ultimate takeaway for you, listening right now, is that the greatest wealth isn't money. It's a clear mind and the autonomy to live your own life. And these small habits, they are the keys.
And if you're feeling overwhelmed by the list of 5, the message is simple. Don't start with all 5.
Just pick one.
Pick one. Commit to it tomorrow morning. Maybe it's the glass of water before the coffee. Maybe it's just 5 minutes of sunlight on your face. Do it as a quiet promise to the life you still have left to live.
Which leaves us with a final thought to mull over. If a dedicated commitment to these simple inputs, to hydration, light, movement, and focus, can allow a 94-year-old to reverse decline and operate with the vitality of someone half their age. What specific limits are you accepting in your own life that might just be a cry for a little more moisture, a little more light, or a little realignment? Think about that tomorrow morning.